man in disguise, a woman in disguise, a major domo, and a major yak face. I'm 4 more toys away from completing my ultimate toy shelf. Join me in crossing 4 more toys off my list next on PopCon. Welcome back to the show. This is PopCon, a salute to all pop culture, but mostly the 80s, and I'm your G1 host, Victor, and I need a haircut. But enough about me. Let's talk about toys. As an adult collector, I've got a goal. I've got a toy shelf behind me, and I also have a list of toys that I want to put on said toy shelf to complete my collection. And yes, there is an end to the collection, and I'm not a completist, so you're here to help me out. And I've got 4 more toys, 4 more Star Wars Vintage Collection action figures to cross off that list and get one step closer to the ultimate goal. All right, let's see who we've got for you today. I've got Princess Leia in Boushh disguise. Tell me, in 1983, while watching Return of the Jedi and Boushh walks into Jabba's palace, didn't you go, I think Boushh is a girl? All right, we've got Bib Fortuna. Now, this has got a lucky story I'll share with you in a minute, but we all know what fortune Bib had. He basically got his fat ass capped by Boba Fett in the book of Boba Fett. And then we've got, okay, here's another disguise. Lando Calrissian in Skiff disguise. This guy can rock anything, right? Even if it's armor and a bone-clad helmet. And finally, we've got Yak Face. Yeah, Yak Face. That was the name on the original card. And no amount of retconning gonna make me say Salt Marae. Sounds like a seafood dish. Well, that is his name, and those are the 4 figures from the Star Wars Vintage Collection that I have to fill up my Jabba the Hutt palace behind me and bring in more of those characters into that setting on my toy shelf. Let's take a closer look at the cards. These blister cards are pretty cool. They look just like their 1983 counterparts, even the picture from the film on the card. They also have different colored backdrops behind their blister cards, but the character is very clearly shown, especially with their accessories. Now the back, just a lot of warnings, just a lot of cautions, and a lot of different languages. Now, depending on the series it's in, it shows you a number of different characters that came in that wave. Other than that, it's pretty damn boring. Well, the packaging, not too inventive, but really harkens back to the old days, the Vintage Collection as it's titled. Let's get right into these, right? I'm ready to rip them open, and we know we're going to take a closer look, but let's get this stuff open. This is pretty easy. These are flimsy cards, by the way, and I don't keep them, so it's just like, oh, look at that. Okay, so here we are. All right, we got that. Just going to pull some weapons out. I'll show you in just a minute. He's got a helmet, of course. Next, here we go. Let's open Yak Face, and that's easy. Show him now. We've got little blister cards, not too bad. They don't seem to. He's a little troublesome. Let me see. Doesn't have. Oh wait, maybe he's got something holding him in. He does. He had some rubber bands, unlike Lando. So there's that. There's his weapons, like a staff. Okay, that's another one. All right, let's keep going. Right as we want to open all these and get closer to. We want to get right to the action figures. So let's get right to the action. So here's Bib Fortuna. That's not working. There he goes. There he goes. I don't see a weapon, so there goes his blister pack. Ooh, soft cape. Always love soft cape. I don't even remember my first Jawa, if he had soft cape or vinyl. I don't remember. I don't know. All right, this one was a little cheap. Someone had started opening this, but I did tell you they're pretty flimsy packaging, so it's pretty easy to pull off a Leia there. Whoa, she slipped out. There's that. I have to get her off the ground. Things happen when you go crazy like this. Now she's got a few things here, so pulling out her figure. She's got her staff. She's, of course, got her little disguise helmet. And I don't know, something that goes on her. We'll figure it out. So that goes. All right, we're left with them right here. Very excited to finally open these. Did you know that these have been around my office here for some time? So here they are. You know what time it is. It's time for Carousel. Let's get it on. This is Bib Fortuna. He was the major domo to Jabba the Hutt in Return of the Jedi, and a pretty creepy Twi'lek. So he's pretty ugly, and we all kind of know what happened to him in the book of Boba Fett. Now, I was lucky enough to have this character, and I don't think he had this. Yes, he actually did have a soft cape in his original release, but this cape has a lot more detail. What I love about this character is that detail in these hands, these creepy, long fingernailed hands that are really remind me of the time he observed R2-D2. I also like the blue paint job, or kind of a wash across his face, and tentacles giving him some depth. He's got some blue trousers and some boots, which seem very popular with these characters, but there's a lot of articulation, rotation of the leg and at the knee with, of course, the bend of the knee and the ankle. The wrists have both back and forth and up and down, as well as the elbow itself. And here's the suave Lando Calrissian, of course, in skiff guard disguise. He somehow infiltrated Jabba's palace, was there to help with the plan to, of course, rescue Han Solo. But we never really got to know how in the movie. That was kind of missing, and I'm sure out there in the extended universe and comics it did let us know. But back to the figure. What a great looking figure with a lot of detail in his armor and his costume. He has, again, a staff, which was very popular in this wave in this line at Jabba's palace. But when you take the helmet off, it is a beautiful reproduction of the helmet used in the film when he lowers it to show the audience it's him. He has a great face. He looks good. He even has messy hair that he would have under a helmet. These guys are hard, just so articulate. And this one, Yak Face, is one of the most articulate. He's a lot of fun. Now, he comes with a soft cape. Does seem like a rag just stitched together, but what do you expect of these guys? He's got some very interesting hands, but if you notice the boots, they're the same as so many other characters. Matter of fact, Bib Fortuna and Lando both have boots as well. Very popular, and they're very small feet. These people got some small feet. I bet it's really hard to buy for. Now, he's got an awesome neck because there's extra articulation. Look at this. Not just the base of his neck, but at the base of his face, giving him a lot of range of motion. Here we have, he's a thinker kind of guy. And once again, a staff. I actually find the most fun with this character because of his articulation, his look, and the ability to move him around, which is saying a lot for someone who barely got any screen time and no words. And finally, it's Princess Leia in Boushh disguise. She does again have some fabric pieces and comes with what? Another staff. Sadly, her right hand finger is very, very fragile, and I feel it's going to break off, and it doesn't hold the staff very well. She's very small. I mean, even in this, she's the scale of the original characters. She's even much smaller than Lando, and definitely more than smaller than Yak Face. The extra piece that came with her was part of a backpack, and that helmet is much more rubbery than Lando, so it comes off and stretches around her ponytail or bun in the back very well. This figure looks great, better than I could imagine. And the detail on the helmet makes me think of the movie a lot. She's holding the thermal detonator just like she did in the film to threaten Jabba the Hutt. And that face sculpt, that is Carrie Fisher to a T.
Star Wars. You and your children loved it.
Now the Earthlings at Popcorn have asked my associate and me to humbly request you subscribe to this channel. Fantastic content is waiting. May the Force be with you.
Do you ever look back at Return of the Jedi and see Lando Calrissian slyly pull his helmet down to show the audience, look, it's me, Lando? Yeah, I would love the backstory of how Lando got there and infiltrated Jabba's palace to be part of this escape plan, and I'm sure the comics and books did it. But we're here to compare. It's my favorite part. Let's compare this action figure of today to the action figure of yesterday. I didn't have it. Of course I wanted it, but here's what it looked like, and it was, of course, to represent this imagery from the film itself. The same with Yak Face. So Yak Face is a total background character. Got to see him a couple times in hazy, foggy, dimly lit scenes, but there he was. He was one of the last action figures released in 1983 in the original line of Star Wars action figures, but here he is making his debut, and I'm trying to fill Jabba's palace, so I loved getting this character. Here's what his original action figure looked like. Not too far, but you know exactly who it's supposed to be. Now this is unique. This is Bib Fortuna, and I did have this original character, and for some strange reason, I liked having him. I think I really loved the Jabba the Palace scene in Return of the Jedi. Well, I couldn't get a hold of him. On Amazon, it says he'd be released in May. Now it's even saying you can get him in April. But this was February, and I stopped by Walt Disney World. Yep, the Magic Kingdom, went on the Main Street Emporium, saw an entire row of Star Wars characters on a peg, and there were 2 Bib Fortunas. You bet I snagged him, and that's how I came up with this figure. Now, Bib Fortuna was, of course, the major domo to Jabba the Hutt himself, and he was a pretty cool and creepy character. So here's his original release. Here's what he looked like in the film. So really love what they've done with him now. And finally, Boushh, the bounty hunter. This action figure is, of course, actually Princess Leia in disguise, but we didn't know that. When Boushh walked in holding Chewbacca in the movie, we weren't sure who he or she was. Of course, it was revealed later. The figure is beautiful and, of course, very pivotal in the rescue of Han Solo. Here's the original figure as she appeared in 1983, depicting these scenes from the film itself. So great representation, loving the new detail, love that face sculpt beyond anything. They did a great job. Here's always a fun moment for me, placing them on the toy shelf itself. Now, of course, I have Jabba's Palace, this little play set here from the Star Wars Vintage Collection, and I already had a few characters in it, but I'm just adding to it because this is the part I want to collect. This is my Star Wars representation, a very specific time and place in that IP or that film franchise as a whole. I will let you know that these figures, they are beautiful. However, their feet are very small. I have very difficult time standing them up. Even what looks to be very solid foot and foot joints in those boots, if they don't have big-ass feet, they're going to have a tough time standing up. Well, they look great up there in Jabba's playset, but let's check out the list. Here it is. Let's cross those 4 off and see how we're doing. Not bad, but we have a long way to go, and I hope you guys will stick with me until the end. And I know you love this, so show me you love it by clicking that big fat ass subscribe button. I'll wait. Alright, I've waited long enough. Click that like, that subscribe, share this, write a comment. I hope you've enjoyed this, and check out my sister site, Collection 82, home of some great graphic design and illustrations of 80s IPs that have impacted me and probably you too. This art's from yours truly, and it's right up your alley. Help put my thing on your thing by clicking the link in the bio, and come back soon and see what else I got at PopCon. Until next time.